Hi, I'm Jill from June Taylor with another innovative solution. Did you ever want to join your quilt blocks that are made quilt as you go? Now we have a perfect way to do that with our Sash and a Dash. It's pre-sewn sashing. It's sold by the yard in 7 colors with matching binding. Open the casing and nest your quilt block inside the casing. And then we're just going to run a top stitch down the edge. Take your next block, open the casing, and just do the same thing. To join rows, we're going to do the same thing, only we're going to run our Sash and a Dash across the row. You can run a beautiful embroidery stitch down here to embellish Sash and a Dash, or you can even put a strip of fabric down here. Here's an example where we added a fabric strip by folding under raw edges and top stitching over Sash and a Dash. And if you like to make t-shirt quilts, go ahead and quilt your blocks and then join them with Sash and a Dash.
The pine burr is a classic quilt design that's been popular for over 100 years, admired for the intricate cutting and sewing skills required to make such a complex block. But now, this traditional block is a whole lot easier to create using the Go Pine Burr 10-inch finished block on board or bob die. Where the time it would take to simply cut the pieces for one block would have stopped quilters from creating this beautiful design, the die makes it possible to cut an entire 10-inch finished 3-color block in just one pass through any Go cutter, including the Go Me. If you can sew a 1/4-inch seam, you can now create pine burr blocks with ease, fashioning them into stunning throat quilts, table runners, and more. This popular block has stood the test of time, but it can also create looks that are fresh and clean as forest air. The Go Pine Burr 10-inch finished die is sure to inspire you as you experience how easy it is to work with, because at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time so you can quilt more. quilters, in today's show, we're going to show you how to cut and sew a block using the Go Arrowhead die. Oh, hey, welcome to AccuQuilt Live Quilters. I'm Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert. Thanks for joining us today. We have already had such excitement here in the Dream Studio. I've already broken my shoe and nearly missed my cue to get on set, so we're glad to be here. Hey, but Chris is here. Chris in the house. How are you, my friend? We can't hear Chris.
That was me.
There
I'm
you
good.
go.
How are you doing today?
There you go. I broke my shoe since we last talked.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay.
And they were my favorite sandals. And so now I'm kind of hobbling around the Dream Studio with like one shoe on, but it's okay. Talk about us. Talk about you. What are you doing?
Oh, I feel like I have so many projects going on, but I am working on that skull log cabin quilt that we talked about a couple weeks ago. So I've got the pattern draft written, and now I'm making another version of it.
And you're gonna, when will that be done? Because I want to buy it. Can I be the first to buy it?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm hoping to have it done in like maybe 2 weeks, definitely before Halloween.
Oh, good.
But
okay.
I do skulls and skeletons all year, so.
So many reasons I love you. Okay, but talk for a minute. How long do you think it would take? Because you use strips, right?
Yeah, it's 2.5-inch strips.
So like jelly rolls. Okay. So how long do you think it would it take for someone to make that skull quilt?
The first one I had done in, I think, 4 days.
Oh, that's
And I was just working on it after work, so.
Yeah, and were you writing down like pattern things? Because when you're making a quilt and writing a pattern, it takes 3 times longer.
Yes, it does. That one was a little more difficult because I was counting as I went.
Yeah.
This one, it's all on paper, so it's a little smoother.
Okay. All right, what else? Are you going to festival? Are you going to market? Where are you going?
I am going to be at Quilt Festival. I don't know which days yet.
Good.
But that one, it starts, I think, on Halloween Day.
Halloween
the
Day?
31st. Yeah.
Because they knew I was coming.
Did you hear next year they're changing their dates?
No, to what?
Yeah, to the beginning of October instead of the end of October.
Why?
So it won't fall on Halloween anymore, so people could be home with their families.
Oh, with their children on Halloween. I get that.
Yeah.
No, listen, if you're going to Quilt Festival, you come find me because I'm going to dress for Halloween and I'm going to give out candy. Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be wearing at least a Halloween shirt.
Okay, we'll take some fun pictures. That'll be great.
Yes.
All right, here, now Chris got to choose our photo of the day, so here it is. Chris, tell us about this photo. It's super fun.
So this is a street sign in downtown Portland, and it just points to different cities that you can see there at the top, maybe. It's probably small on your screen, but it points to Portland, Maine.
Right, which
and how
is on
far
the
away
other
the
side.
other Portland is.
Okay.
But also just different cities and landmarks and how far away they are, so you know what direction to head.
I love it. I feel like if I were coming there, I would like put tape across and put Omaha and how far it was to Omaha. And take a picture. Somebody would have a thing. So here's a question of the day. Quilters, we want to know, what's your favorite quilty destination? So, Chelsea, where did you want to go? Portland. She wanted to go to Portland. We were going to go to Chris's house. We forgot to tell you that. Kenyon wanted to go to Hawaii. Mike was super smart. He's here helping out in the Dream Studio today. He's our camera guy. He wanted to come here to Omaha to AccuQuilt because if you're going to quilt. Chris, where do you want to go?
I like going to shows. So like festival is in Houston. So Houston, but then also like QuiltCon, it travels around. So it gets to take me to all different places.
Okay. I want to go to Iceland. Iceland and quilt there. It's on my bucket list this year.
That sounds fun.
Maybe in the spring. All right. Today, quilters, we're going to give away one of our Go Arrowhead dies. Be sure and register for future events on the AccuQuilt event page for your chance to win. Chris is going to announce the winner of our registered viewer at the end of our show. Okay, we have some housekeeping things before we get started cutting and sewing our block. First thing is, it is National Sewing Month, and AccuQuilt is celebrating National Sewing Month. All you have to do is create a project an original project using either the Go Pineapple die or the Go Lemon die by our good friend Janine LaCour. And once you create an original project, it can be anything. It could be a placemat, a table runner, a table topper, or quilt, whatever you want to do. Maybe a no-sew project. That'd be kind of fun. And then post it on our social media pages. You need to tag AccuQuilt. So hashtag AccuQuilt or AccuQuilt built. And we're going to choose a winner from all the original projects. And that winner is going to receive $150 in AccuQuilt reward points. You can spend it however you want. The contest is valid from September 1st through the 30th. So let's see what you got. You still have a couple more days. Make sure you post. All right, so Mike, I'm going to walk back here to the back. So today's project is the Go Eventide wall hanging. Who's it by? Did we know? Amanda Harvard. We were just talking about you, Amanda, how much I love your projects. Amanda Harvard of Larkspur Quilts. I totally fangirl over her. So Amanda did a cool thing here. This is the Go Arrowhead block. I, of course, have one in orange for some unknown reason. There we go. Okay. And then this is the Lemoyne Star. So look at how cool that looks together. So she's using two different bob dies, which bob is a block on board, means all the shapes you need to make one block are on the die board. So I like this a lot. This block finishes to 9 inches, okay? So it's the Go Eventide Throw Quilt. It's a free pattern at AccuQuilt.com. Now, one of the things I love about this, because truly, you know, it's probably one of my top 10 favorite projects, is that variegated fabric look, right? So you could totally make it in one color. You could totally follow Amanda's idea and make it variegated. If you want to change the color rate, check out Go Quilt. It is a free design tool on the AccuQuilt website. Allows you to change the color of thousands of patterns, including this one. So I think it's just brilliant. She used 2 dies, so we're going to do it. All right, so let's take a look at our Go Arrowhead die. So first of all, it's on a 6x24 die board. And it just has 3 shapes. So 6x24 die board is going to fit through all of our cutters, including the Go-Me. And I think today we'll cut it with a Go-Me. Now, we have, speaking of Go-Me's, a new and improved Go-Me. It has smoother action rollers, and it's just like Go-Me 2.0. So be sure and check it out on the AccuQuilt website. Now, it only has 3 shapes on the die. So we're going to cut our fabric, well, we're going to lay out our fabric on the die. All right. Now, shape A is this center block here, this cute little 4-patch. So notice we're going to need 2 of each color, okay? So I have white and purple. Now, this is kind of a question people ask me all the time. How do I know how to subcut my fabric? Well, you're just going to measure from here to here at 1/4 inch on either side and just rough cut with the fabric. And you can always cut 6 layers of fabric of cotton with our dies. So I just subcut it so that I just have 4 layers. Shape B also needs 2 of each color. Notice 2 on the die board. Okay, so I did the same thing, measured from here to here at 1/4 inch on either side and rough cut my shapes. Now, C. This is C. C is what we call a directional shape, okay? So you want to get a left and a right, a left and a right. So we're gonna, when we talk about fan folding, this is what we mean. If this was a patterned fabric, we just want a fan fold so we get a left and a right, okay? And I'm just gonna make sure I cover all the blades. It's only gonna cut where there's fabric and a mat, so you wanna make sure your fabric's covering all those shapes. Okay, can I use this Kenyon, or do you want me to use a different one? Can I use this Go-Me? Okay. I have to ask. Sometimes things are in the set because they're pretty. All right, so while I cut this, Chris, tell us where people want to go quilt.
Yes, let's see. Kathy says Paducah is her favorite.
Oh,
I have not been
you
yet.
been to Paducah?
I haven't. It's on my bucket list.
Kenyon and I have been to Paducah. We had a great time there. We had so much fun. Okay, where else do people want to go?
Alyssa says Omaha to AccuQuilt.
Yay!
There I've been.
Yes, just recently.
Yes.
Oh, hey, while I cut, before you answer some more, tell people what you did when you came here.
I filmed a 6-part miniseries that is live on the AccuQuilt YouTube channel now, showing you how to use the new and improved GoMe to make your very first quilt. So it's a pattern I designed called Go Fundamentals. It uses, I think, I forget now. It's a good chunk of the 8-inch cube. So if you have the 8-inch cube, it's going to use a lot of the different dies. We go over making a 4-patch, an uneven 9-patch, and a sawtooth star. So you'll learn a lot of new techniques and different complexities. You know, just sewing a 4-patch is the basic. But then we get to a sawtooth star where now you have bias seams. We're pressing seams open and to the side, doing sashing.
Yeah.
And I take you all the way through binding your quilt.
Oh, there we go. There we go. See? The important things. So check it out on your YouTube channel. All right, Chris, where do people want to go while I'm laying out my pieces here?
Let's see. Dawn says that she is going to Hamilton and Paducah in April. That sounds like a wonderful trip.
Okay, listen, I'm going to Hamilton when there is in October for a Halloween party. I'm sure other things are going on there, but yeah, I'm going to go do demos on October 17th. I'll be there. Okay.
Fun.
I know. Keep talking.
Let's see. Roxanne says Lancaster, Pennsylvania to get inspired, and then to San Francisco to quilt while watching my grandson.
Oh my gosh. Fun things. Okay.
Two opposite ends of the country.
Right? Okay, so I want to talk about this. I'll talk about it here. I was going to point at the quilt, but I'm going to talk about it here. So this is that shape C. Notice sometimes the orange, or in this case the purple, is on the right, and sometimes it's on the left. That's why it's a directional shape. So, and you're going to think this is wrong, but look, it goes to the outside, okay? So what I've done is I've laid my pieces. Oh, hey, Mike, can you plug this in for me? I probably need an iron. Sorry about that. Thank you, sweetie. This is what happens when you have live things happening. Okay. I already burned myself twice on the other iron today. Okay. Oh, gosh. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew these shape C's together. Okay, and then we're going to press to the dark side. And then we're going to continue. All right, so Chris, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Now you can talk about where people want to go.
No problem. Patty says, I have never done a quilty destination, but the 3 places I would love to go to are Germany, Stitch in Heaven's retreats, and then also visit all of you in Nebraska.
Thank you.
So I went to Germany last year and found a really cute quilt shop. I actually just threw away the receipt because I spent like €86 on fabric.
Holy smokes, Chris. How fun is that?
But yeah, quilting's not as prevalent in other countries as it is in the United States. So that was very interesting.
Yeah, and in Europe, they still have a 1/4-inch seam, which when I used to go to London all the time for AccuQuilt, I was surprised that they sewed with a 1/4-inch seam.
Yes, I think it's because like quilting is really an American thing. Like America took it and ran with it.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
When you see patterns and tools, like it's in inches, whereas the rest of pretty much the rest of the world uses millimeters and centimeters. And yeah. One reminder, because Nebraska has come up several times.
Yay.
Unfortunately, the AccuQuilt studio is not open to visitors. So if you are planning a trip to Nebraska, you unfortunately won't be able to hang out with them.
Right. So back in the day before COVID, we would offer tours. But now, first of all, we are not in the office every day. And other than our warehouse team, and you can't go to the warehouse, And so there's not really anybody here to give you a tour. And lots of our staff work remotely. So yes, AccuQuilt is closed, but thank you for wanting to come visit us.
Yes,
Okay.
just so no one shows up and is disappointed with the sign on the door.
I know, right? The sign on the door says, we're really sorry. So, all right. Oh, here we go. I'm running out of cord. Okay, so now when I press this, I'm going to press towards the dark side so my seams nest. And this is, like I say, this is a really great chain piecing block. I do like good chain piecing. And we've
Me
cut
too.
off the dog ears. So the pieces are going to line up together. And we have that 1/4 inch seam allowance, which we were just talking about. Okay, Chris, where else are people wanting to go?
Let's see. Pam wants to go to Paducah.
There you go.
Terry says Amish quilt shops in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I have
That
been
would
to
be
some really
interesting.
great, I've been to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's pretty fun. I'm going to tell you the best, one of the best parts about Paducah is they have like carnival food. They have food trucks and like you can have
Oh.
corn dogs, right, Kenyon? And strawberry shortcake and root beer floats. It's super fun. Okay. All right, so now we're going to lay our pieces out. Now, what we want to do is we're going to sew a C section or a B section. Now, these are 1/4 square triangles. How do we know, Chris?
Because the long side is on grain.
Yeah, long grain. If it was a 1/2 square triangle, the short side would be. So this is going to make it so that, look, nice and tight on the outside of your project. Okay. Did I cut enough of these? I did. Sometimes I worry. Okay. So now we're going to do this side and then we'll do this side. Okay. All right. And don't forget, if you have questions, you can ask Chris questions. He knows many things AccuQuilt. All right, Chris, where else do people want to go quilt?
Oh, were you going to say something?
No, I was going to say, whoever lives in Iceland, please just invite me.
There you go.
Okay.
Louise says, I'd like to return to Hamilton, Missouri. How cool that there's a whole town dedicated to quilting.
It is Quilt Town, USA, Hamilton, Missouri. It's about an hour northeast of Kansas City. And it is the home of Missouri Star Quilt. And it's super fun. I go there probably once a month and do little demos, show people all about AccuQuilt. Our good friends, Hometown Leatherworks, did you know you could cut leather with your AccuQuilt dies? They are also based out of Missouri Star Quilt. They have a shop there.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
so hi to Tina and that crew. So, yeah, it's kind of fun. It is truly a destination place.
And speaking of cutting other things with your AccuQuilt, Kimberly is
Yes.
asking, when cutting batting, how many layers should you cut?
Oh gosh, I'm going to say well, okay, batting is so subjective, right? Sometimes it's thick, sometimes it's thin. I would start with 1 or 2. If it's thin, I've cut 2 layers of thin.
Yeah. I actually because I was cleaning my sewing room this weekend, and I ran across my manual that came with my Go Big. And I know that in the manual, there is a chart of different materials and how many layers it's suggested to cut.
Seriously?
I don't know where I put it, though.
How did I not know that? Wow, way to go, AccuQuilt. So, hold please. Oh, I thought I had to make 2, but I don't. So look, here's this one. I can make 2 blocks if I want. I was stressed there for a hot minute, folks. Hold on.
This is one of those blocks you definitely want to lay
Good
out
Lord.
before you start sewing.
Yes, because I think this is this. Hold on, let me just make sure. I'm sure I had a left and a right when I started. Oh, there we go.
There you go. See, you did it right.
I did do it right. It scares me sometimes when I do it wrong. Okay? So that's what you want to do. And now, look at that. I love it when it all works. Okay, so now I'm going to press these to the dark side, and then I'm going to make my little 4-patch. Okay, good thing, Chris, good thing. I have, not often, but on occasion, I have sewn things wrong on this show. And I think just like the last time we met, I had sewn something wrong and then had to go and unsew it. That
was the pine burr.
Yes.
That one can be tricky too.
Hey, do you have your block? Do you have your block that you made for the show?
I do somewhere.
Oh, okay. Chris made this super cool Halloween block.
I will find it.
It was fun. So we left and did the show, and then he sent it to me and said, oh, look what I made after the show. And I thought, man, I like found my shoes and drove home. And Chris was already doing his thing. Okay, look at that. All right, so now let's make a 4-patch. So 2 whites and 2 purples. We're going to sew them together. We're going to press to the dark side. We're going to sew them together. All right, Chris, while I am doing this, talk to us about where people want to quilt.
All right, let's see. Lots of Hamilton, Missouri. Oh, and Toby says, I would love to go to QuiltCon.
Oh, you should go to QuiltCon and see Chris.
So much fun. It's 4 days of nothing but quilts. Next year, for 2025, it will be in Phoenix, Arizona. And then in 2026, they are going back to Raleigh, North Carolina.
Which, gosh, I love. And it's always in February. It's always the same time as AQS Daytona.
Yes. So Pam goes to AQS. I go to QuiltCon.
I go to the beach. And Chris is going to Phoenix. So, but my goal, I have submitted several times quilts to be shown at QuiltCon and never had one chosen. Have you ever had a quilt chosen?
I've only ever submitted one, and it was not chosen. It was my actual, the double wedding ring that I made last year using my AccuQuilt. So I have a couple quilts that I want to enter this year. The cutoff is October 31st.
Halloween.
So I need to get some photographs.
Yeah.
I was actually on not a seminar, but like a presentation last night about submitting quilts to QuiltCon.
Yes, what did you learn for those of us who want to do that maybe?
The photographs are extremely important. High quality photographs that really portray accurately your quilt. And when you're submitting, they're not judging. So there's a difference between the jury and the judge.
Right.
So jury is just like, yes, your quilt is going to show at QuiltCon. The judge is then going to be like, if you win an award or not. So if you have a quilt that maybe is not perfect or you're feeling kind of about because your points didn't line up, it's okay. Still submit it because the jury's not looking for matched points or squareness or anything like that. They're just like, that's an interesting quilt. Let's hang it so people can get a closer look at it.
Yeah, yeah. And I've done it 3 times, and apparently I'm not interesting enough because they were like, thank you for submitting. But now, in their defense, they get thousands and thousands of people submitting quilts. We're going to give a shout out to the Omaha Modern Quilt Guild. So our guild every year does a charity quilt kind of thing, you know, for QuiltCon.
I does too.
So many of our members go to QuiltCon. It's super fun. So, okay. So now I sewed those squares together. Look at that fun, perfect 4-patch. Okay?
Nice.
And the reason it's perfect is because we cut them perfectly.
Yep.
Okay. Now, listen, if you were just at home doing this, it would be so much faster, right? Because I'm going to press this one open. So because it has a little bit of bulk in there. Mike, do you love that it has a headlight on it? Isn't that fun? That's our Aliso iron. You can get it on our website. Okay, now that I've done that, now I'm going to create the next section.
Got to rotate your 4-patch. There you go.
I was already stressed. Could you tell? Could you feel it in the air? Okay.
I could.
Okay, so now I'm going to sew this center section together. And because I've pressed to the dark side, my seams are going to nest, which is what you want. Always, always nesting. All right, Chris, where else are people going?
We do have some questions here,
good. Let's
actually.
answer those.
So Carol has a question for me. Chris, how does one buy your products? So you can head to my website, which is rosecityoriginals.com, and there's a little shop drop down. You can check out my patterns, my fabrics, everything that I got on there.
What is your most popular thing you sell at rosecityoriginals.com?
Well, it's patterns because I only recently started with the fabric.
Okay,
and
but what's your most popular one that has ever sold?
Probably the Snow Flurry pattern.
Oh,
so it is
yeah.
a quilt. It's available in, well, the pattern you can make 3 different sizes, and it's got 2 giant snowflakes on it. And my style for the like the background of the quilt, it uses squares and rectangles kind of mixed up, so you get like a mosaic scrappy look rather than it just being all squares of the same size. So it's a lot of fun.
See? Okay. I'm just seeing how I press these. Okay, so these are pressed in towards the dark. So I'm going to press these out. And then we're going to just, so look at how cool that is. Chris, if you were making this quilt, would you make it variegated like this, or what would you do?
I really like the look. I don't know if I would do variegated, but maybe, let's see, there's 6 rows. You could do a rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple.
Oh, there you go. There's a song about that. Purple and orange and blue,
yep.
right?
Yep.
Indigo. Indigo is the one of the... So that would be fun. That would be really fun. You could also do it scrappy. Like
I do love scrappy.
I do love scrappy. You could do a scrappy one where you could maybe do, let's say you have all blues. You could just do scrappy blues, or, you know? I think so. All right.
Yeah.
And I am going to backstitch here. You always want to sew a 1/4 inch seam, folks. Not a scant. All right, what other questions do we have, Chris?
Let's see, Regina is asking, Minnesota is warm today. Is there a North Star quilt pattern?
A North Star? I don't know.
I know there's a lot of stars.
We have so many star dyes. Do we not, Chris? Holy smokes.
We do.
Minnesota is warm. First of all, congratulations that Minnesota is warm. I don't know. Google it on our website and see. You should totally be doing something, though.
I see North Carolina star, but I don't see one that's just North Star.
No, but there's like the Rising Star that you could use, which is a super cool block. Okay. Gosh, I don't know. Let us know. Let us know if you find one, because I'm anxious to hear about that. Okay, I'm going to press this way so it will just seam. Just make sure it's going to nest there. It has been lovely weather in Nebraska. It's been in the 70s.
Ooh, nice.
Which is lovely.
I think that's about what it is here.
Yeah. And I have been swimming in the outdoor pool, which is not heated.
Oh, that gets a little chilly.
It is super cold, but I don't care because I'm outside and it's almost October. They're going to close it here in a couple of weeks, but
yeah,
it's been kind of nice. Okay, what other questions do we have?
Someone is asking, can you use a bob die in the Studio 2 cutter?
Yes, how do you use it, Chris?
With the adapter.
Mm-hmm. And
so it's an extra plate to raise it up.
Right, yep. The adapter's available at the AccuQuilt website. And Studio is our professional kind of, here, I'm going to press this because this is so pretty. I should make, gosh, I should make this into a table topper or something for the lovely Erica.
She would love that.
She likes purple. She's leaving me. She's going to go to Maine with her good friend Judy, and they're going to go see like leaves change.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, she's going to have a good time. Okay, so look at how fun this block is, and look at how fast it went. And look how great it looks. So these both finished to 9 inches. I do like this, Chris. I like it in the purple.
I don't think I ever would have thought to pair those two, but they look so good together.
Amanda Harwood, she's brilliant. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So quilters, you want to follow the pattern to lay out your blocks and finish the project by adding batting between the top and the backing. Pin or base quilt is desired. Use your favorite binding method. Be sure and share all your projects with us on the AccuQuilt website or on all of our social media platforms using hashtag AccuQuilt. So Chris, this finishes to a 9-inch block. So I was looking here on the wall, so things like cross canoes would be fun because it's also a 9-inch, right?
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so kind of just think about what you want to pair it with. Now, don't forget it is September. I had to think about that for a hot minute. This month's Die to Try, I have some projects, is the Go Pine Burr. Hold on here. Ooh, I just made a big mess there, guys. Okay, guess who this is by? Amanda Harwood. Okay, so this is called Go Sparkling Starlet. And she used the Pine Burr die. And Chris, do you know what other die she used?
Is that the Rising Star?
It is.
Yay.
Yay, I know. And does it not look like chocolate-covered strawberries or something?
It does,
Gosh.
yeah.
But I love the fact that, here, I'm going to put it down so I can talk about it. I love this secondary image, right? So it makes the rising star look like it's in a circle. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, an octagon. Good grief. But I love how this is another example of we've used a bob die. This is this month's Pine Burr and the Go Rising Star. Okay. Then I have another one. Oh, this is another version of the Arrowhead. And gosh, I hope it's on the website. This is called Full Force by our good friend Terry Vandenbosch of Lizard Creek Quilts.
That is amazing. And that's just changing the colors.
Just changing the colors of the Arrowhead die that we just did. And then she used some strips, so let's talk about it. Terry is brilliant. So here, I'm gonna get my block. Here. Okay, so look. So this is kind of like this, but look how different it looks if you just use the white, right? She just totally changed the colors, and then it creates a completely different block. And she used strip dye, which I think is also quite brilliant. And then I have one more. Gosh, I got to make sure that we have them on the website. Okay, this is. Okay, so last week, do you remember what you made?
Yep.
Yeah.
That is the magnolia vine.
Yeah, the magnolia bud. And this is the magnolia vine by our good friend Ellen Altz. And isn't this so pretty?
I love it.
I love it. And I have to show you the back because it has like mason jars with flowers on it. And mostly since I have a son Mason, I want to find this fabric because it does say Mason on it.
Oh, fun.
Uh-huh. But look, this is the magnolia bud. And Erica showed you last week how to make it. But I love the fact that it is scrappy goodness. And then the vines are just all the same colors. It's really cute. I really love it. And this shape is one of my favorite shapes. This is a half rectangle triangle. And it it allows you to create this bud look, but it also is what you're going to use for the vine. And it has grunge, all the beautiful things. Okay? So don't forget, this month you want to get the Pine Burr die. It's only available for a few more days. Also, while you're there, pick up the Arrowhead die and the Go Magnolia bud. I love it. You can get them from the AccuQuilt website or from your local AccuQuilt retailer. And guess what? Today we have free shipping on the AccuQuilt website. Check it out. Okay? Now, next Wednesday, what are we doing next Wednesday, Chris? Do you know?
We are starting our quilt along.
Yay!
But real quick, I found my block for the Pine Burr.
This is so
So
cute.
this is made, it's a little witch's hat, and it's made with the Pine Burr. So the Pine Burr is right there.
Right there.
That's the Pine Burr block. And then I used the 5-inch setting triangle corners. And then these are just the same triangle here repeated for that. Now it is a bias edge, so I'd probably use like a quarter square triangle instead.
Or a
but
strip.
This block finishes to 7 inches, and there's no
There's a
like
7-inch
4.5
square.
inch.
There's a 7-inch square die.
Yeah, but I would need like a 4.5 inch finished or 3.5 inch finished quarter square triangle, which there is not.
There's not
yet. Hint, hint.
And there is no. I was going to say there is no one coming out. Don't play with them like that, Chris.
No.
But it'd be fun to just you could put strips on it, on the outside to keep it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just when you're sewing it together, be cautious of that bias.
Yes. And then next week we start the quilt along, and this is the project we're making. This is called the Go Classic Storm at Sea, and we use the Go Storm at Sea die. And it uses just a single sashing. So when we talk about that, here, hold on. And I get bragging rights because I made this beautiful quilt and wrote the pattern for it. So here is sashing when we talk about it. We have some patterns on our website that have double sashing, but this is single sashing. And it's this diamond in a rectangle that gives you the illusion of motion even though you're only sewing straight seams. Super fun. So this is the project we're doing next week, starting next week, and the sew along. So if you don't have the Storm at Sea die today, throw it in your cart, free shipping. All right, I think I've done all the housekeeping things. Chris, do you want to announce today's winner?
Sure. Well, let me get back to that screen.
I know. We were just talking about so many fun things. Oh,
all right, drum roll, please. Today's winner is Peggy B from Crawfordsville, Indiana.
Congratulations, Peggy. I'm going to reach out to you to get your address, and I'll send you a Go Arrowhead die. All right, Chris, any last things before we head out today?
We do have a note here from Terry.
Hi, Terry.
Hey, Chris and Pam. I'm watching the AccuQuilt lessons with Chris, but I'm making my fundamentals quilt in Halloween fabric.
Gosh.
I want to see it.
Send it to us.
Definitely post that. Tag AccuQuilt.
Okay, so post it. We want to see it. I am doing the Storm at Sea in fall Halloween colors.
Ooh.
Wait till you can see it.
I have my fabrics picked, and I'm actually going to do this sew along, I hope.
Yay! What fabrics did you pick?
So I got this fabric a while ago from an artist. I think he's in the UK. So it is like sailors and mermen. So that's going to be my like the center of it because it's Storm at Sea.
Yes.
So going with that, and then I have like greens and blues to go with it.
Oh, that'll be so fun, Chris. I'm excited. I'm excited. All right, be sure if you're not following, be sure to join the AQS Project Parade Facebook page. That's where Eric and I are posting our pictures of our fabric and for the quilt along. All right, who is helping us with our comments today, Chris?
Let's see, today we have Lauren and Ray and Caitlin helping us.
Hi, Lauren and Ray and Caitlin. They're all off-site. Thanks for helping us with our comments today. Here in the Dream Studio, we have Mike. He is helping out as our camera guy. Chelsea's here, and she left her cute baby at home. It's okay, though. He needs to be at home with his grandma. And, of course, there's Kenyon. I'm Pam. Hey, we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. To learn more about your quilting craft, be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for live events every Tuesday and Wednesday. You can check out the events page on the AccuQuilt website for more details on upcoming shows. And if you're looking for even more inspiration, visit our blog for exclusive tutorials filled with tips and tricks. And remember, at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time so you can quilt more. Join the team on AccuQuilt and be sure to join us next week for AccuQuilt Live as we start the last AQS AccuQuilt along for the year.